Miss Marvel Season 1, Episode 2. I am contemplating if I'm going to continue with this series because I'm at the point where I just think it's just not for me. And the reason why it's not for me is because here's the thing. In the comics and every other medium she's been in, she's been a superhero, right? Fighting bad guys, this and that, joining teams. I tuned into this show to see a superhero teen drama, not a teen drama comedy that just so happens to have a superhero in it. And that's not what I signed up for. I do like coming of age stories. I do like teen stories, teen dramas and stuff. I like teen comedies. Um, I like wacky stuff, but it's like I know this going into a property for the most part. Sometimes I don't, and then it's still satisfying. But when it's superhero comic book stuff, I want to see superheroes fight bad guys and everything, have a actual plot, not have that Marvel like Disney baby humor. You know what I'm saying? And that's very much what this show is. It's for teenagers, basically. And, there's a show that I've been talking about and reviewing lately called Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion on Disney Channel. That is a teen superhero comedy drama. And I like that a million times better than I like this series. For one, okay, pretty much in this entire episode is just her learning her powers for a little bit. Don't buy into the description because you think she's learned about her powers the entire episode and she's not. It's only for a little bit. Then we see her like crushing on a guy, and then we see her like doing some type of like festival type thing in her religion. And so then she stays like a boy. And here's the thing about Ultraviolet. In the first episode, which is only 20 minutes, the girl gets her powers. She tells her best friend. They test out the powers. She teams up with another superhero and they fight crime, and it's on family drama. All that in 20 minutes. This show is pushing it an hour every episode. There's only two. So they're doing the whole, the long drag and everything. And it's annoying. When a Disney Channel show can do it in 20 minutes, why is a Disney Plus show doing it per episode and dragging it out? That's annoying me big time. And there's so many parallels between those two shows, both for teens, both for people of color. The show is predominantly people of color show. One goes to a party, one goes to a sleepover. They both save a little kid after they learn their powers and stuff. They tell their best friend. The only difference is in the other show, she's actually fighting bad guys and stuff. Yeah, it's a little wacky because it's a Disney Channel show, but it's a whole lot funner than this one. Now, one thing I do appreciate with this show, I like seeing Pakistani culture. I don't know much about it. There is a Pakistani show, or a Pakistani/white show that I watch in Britain, but they don't really tell nothing about their culture. In fact, this is the first time I've ever seen anybody inside a mosque for longer than like 15 seconds, because on the other show, it was only for a couple. And just like in that one, somebody got their shoes stolen and stuff. However, in the other show, it's because of this racist girl that stole them and stuff. But in this one, somebody just randomly stole them. And so that is one thing I am appreciating about this show. I'm learning about another culture I know absolutely nothing about. And so, like, when she does a little montage of her using her powers and stuff, it's cool, but here's the problem. Her powers look awesome. If Green Lantern can make something look that cool, that'd be awesome. But here's the thing. She basically is Green Lantern. She doesn't have the same power set as she does in the comics, which is just stretching ability and everything like Mr. Fantastic. They changed this. Why did they change this? Two reasons. One, Kevin Feige loves getting one up on DC. He heard that HBO Max is making a Green Lantern series. He beat them to the punch with this show. Second, Mr. Fantastic is coming to the MCU. They don't want to have two people with stretching powers. Don't know why, because there are two witches type people in the MCU already. So why not, this? But hey, whatever. So her powers are like light construct based, just like Green Lantern. But here's the thing, Kevin Feige already had a Green Lantern in the Nova Corps, which was in the Guardians movie, but they didn't really do no Green Lantern type stuff like they do in the comics. So he wanted one actual Green Lantern with a different power set. So her powers are kind of flickering on and off during school. That was kind of cool to see, especially when her nose lit up. And it's cool to see her friend hanging out other than her hanging out with that dude. Um, but here's the thing. Then they are doing this somewhere. They're at a party, and when they're at the party, maybe they're at the party something. They're doing something, and everybody has to run. Something happened. I forget what, but like it's where they have to scatter big time, right? And so this guy, I forget his name, but it starts with a K, Crayman or something like that. He rescues the day by giving him a ride back home. And this is when she crushes on him, and she's crushing very hard. And of course, this hurts Ruben's feelings. Now, when she comes into the house after he drops her off, this is the part where I paused it and I was beside myself. I'm like, am I really hearing her do like a singing musical about being in love with this dude? I'm like, no, I don't think I can sit through the rest of this show. So I paused it. I went on the computer. I started playing around. I started thinking about how annoyed I was. Then I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to finish it. And I finished it. Why are they singing in this? I don't want to see a musical. I'm not watching Joker 2. I haven't even seen Joker 1. I'm going to when I get HBO Max again, but I'm not watching Joker 2. I do not sign up for superhero musicals. I just don't. Anyway, so I'm just kind of like, this is so much a teeny bopper show. Now, and then I started asking myself, is there even a villain? Like, where's the villain? I kind of figured that dude at the end credits in the last episode was probably the villain. So he shows up. He's part of the department of like something where in No Way Home, something happens. I forgot the department of something. When something bad happens, they cover it up. I think there was also an Agents of Shield. I can't remember. But anyway, he's asking that one girl she saved, and so they're being rude and just interrogating her. And I think she knows who Kamala really is with the whole magic and stuff, right? So they all like go door by door if you have to, but find this girl. So in a way, Kamala is talking to her grandma because she wants to know about this little band that's giving her magic powers. She tells her it belonged to her mother. And so when she asks her mom about like her great grandmother, the mom does not want to talk about it. She knows something and she gives a little detail. She said that the great grandmother disgraced them and shamed the family. So, whatchamacallit, her crush gives her like a car driving lesson and everything. Ruben or whatever his name is gets accepted into MIT. Now he has to make a decision. He's gonna leave Kamala and not see her for a long time, or is he gonna like stay? Anyways, he's barely in this episode, but you can tell he's jealous. He's doing the whole friend zone thing, and yeah. So anyway, they're at this like Pakistani type like festival type thing, right? I forget what it's called. And so she starts asking the older ladies, hey, my great grandmother? They start telling stories of why she shamed the family. And one lady says she murdered a man. So then all of a sudden, at some point, because when her powers, the band glows up, it takes her in this weird realm type thing, right? And she starts seeing all these ghostly like figures, but then there's a woman appeared. It must be her great grandmother. Anyways, all of a sudden, a boy decides to go on top of a building. He falls, and oh no, he's screaming. He needs help. So of course she's gonna save the day. So she runs. She changes off screen. Where does she even have her costume at? It's pretty big and bulky. And when she's wearing her outfit, you can't see the seams of the bulkiness. So where did she have her costume? She changes. She starts using her powers untrained. She trained a little bit, but it kind of went badly. So she's going to do the hero thing. She saves him at first only to drop him. And then she's constantly shooting constructs for him to bounce off of. And he's bouncing because she can't grab onto him because she's still new to using her powers. And then he's bouncing to the point where he only falls on top of the car a little bit, breaks his ankle, stuff like that. Then I think she probably falls or something like that. But then all of a sudden, as she's walking away and getting ready to rechange, these drones start following her. So she's running, she's using her powers to like hit the drones and everything. And then here comes those like agents, all with their guns drawn. They want her to stand down. She's running up in the air on her constructs. And then I think they shoot at her. It's like some energy disperses. So it's not bullets. And then so she falls down and she's running some more. And then all of a sudden her crush comes in his car. And he's like, get in. And he knows who she is under the costume with the powers and everything. How does he know? We don't know. But then his mom is in the back of the seat. And she's all like, oh, I've been wanting to meet you for a long time. So she knows something. What does she know? We don't know because they're dragging it out. And I'm just like, that's what the entire episode was about. Like her learning her powers, her crushing, her singing, and then all of a sudden her saving a boy only to kind of not save him. And so with all that teeny bopper stuff and the animation moving around, so I'm just kind of like, I'm contemplating if I'm going to continue. The ending got me curious to why I want to see what's going to happen. But if I watch the third episode, then basically I'm watching half of the series. So then I might as well finish it. And I don't want to finish it. I don't want to waste my time on a teeny bopper show. Now, like I said last week, the actress, this is her first major project ever. And it shows. I'm not ragging on her. Like, I'm happy for her because she's living everybody's lifestyle. She gets to play a superhero. She gets to be on TV. She gets to have her own series. People are like gushing over her. And of course, you know, those hater people are hating on her and stuff, talking about, I'm not watching woke Disney and everything, or woke Marvel. She's in the comics. How is that woke? Seriously. And you don't even like the white woman who plays the other Marvel. So what are y'all complaining about? Anyway, speaking of the other Marvel, it's funny. The actress who plays Miss Marvel didn't even like Captain Marvel, the movie. She gave it a low ranking when she ranked it and everything. Now, Brie Larson has talked to her and extended like a hello and everything like that. Gave her some words of encouragement. I don't know if Brie knows she hates her movie. But then again, I bet you anything, if she was a dude who didn't like her movie, Brie would probably be pissy and everything. Because you know how Brie gets at times. But anyway, back to the actress and her acting. It's not terrible, but it's not professional. See, everybody else in the show, her acting stands out because everybody else in the show can actually act because they're seasoned. They've done this before. So you can tell when she stands out kind of like a sore thumb and everything. And I'm rooting for her. I would like for her to get better. She just has to practice her craft. But one thing I am having a problem with when it comes to her acting and how she got the role is just kind of like how it all happened. Like, okay, I was watching Jimmy Fallon and she was on there and she looked amazing in her dress. And no, she's not a teenager in real life. She's an adult. Anyway, she was rocking that dress. Anyway, she's talking to him about how she got the role. And then as soon as she started talking, I paused it. I'm like, hold up. I noticed something. The way she talked in the interview, her expressions, her mannerisms, that's her on the show. So therefore, she's not even really acting. She's acting like herself. And that bothers me. Because, like, I take acting very seriously. I love TV. I have watched millions of hours of TV over my lifespan. I take it very seriously. When people act, when they can't act, it annoys me. When people really can't act, it just makes me stop like watching the show. I always pay attention to people's eyes, mouth movement, and facial expressions and mannerisms with their body and everything to see if they can act well. I'm a very observant person, so I notice those things. And so, like, for me, I appreciate it when people actually go to acting school or get a acting coach. And whether they're good or not, they try their hardest. You know what I'm saying? I hate it when it's reality TV people, internet people, and athletes thinking they can act. I can't stand that crap because it's a waste of time. And there are people who are older who Hollywood said goodbye to because they got older or something flopped, and they're like, "We don't want you no more," and then they miss out on roles. And so, like, it does irk me a little bit that how she got this audition. Basically, her aunt sent her the audition on a WhatsApp, and she auditioned for it, and somehow she beat out all these other girls and won the role. Now, like I said before, she has no acting experience whatsoever. She's done short stuff, like short filming type stuff on like the internet. That's probably the stuff she's done herself, and I don't consider that really acting because you know how YouTube acting is. And so that part bugs me and everything because it's kind of like where I am rooting for her, and I think she's a great person. Like when you watch her interview, she's so cool. But it bugs me that she has no acting experience, and it shows in her work. Like when I watch her, she's very green. Now, of course, every star starts off somewhere, so it's not going to be perfect. But what I respect out of them is that they work their way up to the top. They take commercial roles, they take background roles, they take tiny roles, and then they work on their craft and they work themselves up, and hopefully they become like super famous and stuff. And with her, it kind of didn't do. Anybody can make a YouTube video and act on that and everything, but that's not the same, you know? And so I just would like to see her acting improve a little bit more. And I would also respect it more if she would have went to actual acting school, been in a play or something, you know? Because her acting like herself, that's not acting. I only accept that when it's a seasoned actor or actress who's really old and gray, because they deserve just to be themselves, and they earn that right. You know what I'm saying? Now there was this Disney Channel show. No, I'm a Disney Channel actress who recently told a story about, like, because now she's directing and everything like that, from acting and stuff like that, and so she's directing and she's happy. She's seeing her name on the script in a different way, and it making tears come out her eyes. And she told the story of how when she was younger, people told her, "You're wasting your time, you're not good enough." Her own parents even saying, "Oh, we wasting our money and time on her, and she's not getting roles." Then she started taking whatever roles she can get, teeny tiny roles, commercials and everything. She talked about how when she got older, she moved out to Hollywood, sleeping on other people's floor in their apartment because she didn't have the money to get her own apartment or her own bed or even a couch or anything like that. I respect the crap out of that because she's doing it the old-fashioned way and the hard way. She just didn't like get like an app and just all of a sudden audition and all of a sudden having all this great stuff happen to her. That kind of bugs me a little bit and everything because it's kind of like she's gonna be in the sequel to the Captain Marvel movie called The Marvels. That's a blockbuster movie. Her acting is gonna have to improve from now until that movie, and if it don't, she's really gonna stick out. So while I'm not like ragging on her, because I do like her, like I said before, she has a great personality and she's living the dream, you know what I'm saying, and good for her. It's just, I wish she would have had some acting experience before taking on this role and everything. That just kind of bugs me on a person who just loves acting so much. You know, I say, like, if you can do it, do it. If you can't, don't. Because there are lots of people who have been in other roles, who have went to school and everything, and their acting still sucks. I ain't gonna say their name, but they've been in some Twilight movies and stuff, you know? And so it's just like, it's kind of hard to watch a show when you're watching everybody else and everybody else is like killing it in the acting, and all of a sudden you see her and it's kind of like not, and it's only because she's only acting like herself and everything. I hope that doesn't sound like awful, like me saying anything. I'm not like hating on her or nothing like that. I'm just making a valid point. When people want things to succeed and everything, like, and you want something to succeed, you want everything to be at its best. The writing, the direction, the production value, and the acting and everything. And I'm all for giving people chances, but you're supposed to start off small and tiny and stuff. Not all of a sudden get the biggest gig of your life and everything when you're not ready for it. It's very similar to that dude from the last Airbender movie who played Ong, not Aang, Ong. That dude was just a martial artist. It showed in his acting ability. And he only did one other movie after that, and that movie bombed too. Where is he at now? I don't know. Probably doing martial arts. Like, you see what I'm saying? Anyways, I don't know if I'm going to continue with this show. I'm intrigued because of the ending, but that intrigue is probably going to, like, I've been intrigued before, and I regretted it, like with Star Trek Discovery at the end of season 1 and everything, with the Enterprise showing up. And it's just kind of like, fool me once and everything, but hey, don't be fooling me twice. You know what I'm saying? And stuff. Alrighty. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.